Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. If you could stay muted during the session, please, and if you have any questions as we're going through, you can ask those through the chat on the meeting, and then I'll answer those as we go through or at the end of the session. Any questions that we're not able to answer during the session, there will be a frequently asked questions section in the email that we send out to everybody with a copy of the recording of the webinar on there. So any answers to any questions that we can't give you in the session will be in that frequently asked questions section there. If you can remain muted, the session will be recorded. It will then be hosted on our YouTube channel, where you can watch all of our videos there from the last 2 years. And today we're going to be looking at what happened in 2022 and what's coming up in 2023. So first of all, we're going to have a quick review on 2022 and see what happened during the year there and what changes we made to Surgery Connect. We'll then have a look at the projects that are coming up in early 2023 so that we can give you a heads up of what we've got coming up there as well. There's also a list of all the exhibitions that we'll be attending for the first 6 months of the year, so we'll let you know what they are. If you are at any of the exhibitions, then please come along and say hello to the team that will be there. And finally, we've got a slide in here on the different areas that you can contact Surgery Connect depending on your particular query. So in 2022, for Exxon was a really good year. We had a year of lots of firsts, and the first major thing that happened in 2022 was our acquisition by the Southern Communications Group in March. That means that we're now part of a much larger organisation and have backup with additional engineers and things if we need them. The number of simultaneous calls in 2022 doubled, so our highest number of calls that were all going on at the same time was 17,434. That doubled in 2022 to over 34,000 calls going on at a time. In November, the total number of calls in a month rose, and the year before it was just over 17 million calls within the month, whereas in November 2022, Surgery Connect handled over 24 million calls within the month of November. We took on 701 new surgeries that have joined the Surgery Connect family, and 15 new staff members were employed by Exxon so that we could deal with the extra capacity that we needed there. We attended 13 exhibitions in 2022 around the country, mainly in London and Birmingham, and also completed our first annual customer survey. So thank you for those of you that responded to the survey there. With Surgery Connect itself, there were a few changes. So the main change, one of the main things that we went through was the DCB 0129, which is the NHS Clinical Risk Management Standard. And we've passed that now. So this award ensures that Surgery Connect is a safe online solution that doesn't put the patient data at risk. So we've been through all of the accreditation that we need to get that particular award. We also won some other awards in 2022. So we won the Best Comms Software of the Year award through the Comms Council. We also won the Excellent in Cloud Technology Awards at the HTN Awards. And in December, at the General Practice Awards, we also won the Digital Solutions Provider of the Year. Surgery Connect has been worked on for quite some years now. It's 20 years old, so it's nice to have that recognition that we're moving in the right way, and all the changes that we make are helping the surgeries and the patients to stay in touch there. We also launched our new phone bar. So anybody with EMIS as their clinical database is able now to upgrade to the phone bar. We'll be restarting our upgrade process later this quarter. The phone bar is an app that sits in front of your clinical database. So rather than having to access the user console and soft phone, if you're a standard user, all of your calls can be presented directly on the screen in front of the clinical database. It still brings up the patient pop-ups just like the original integration does, and you can set it to automatically log you in. Within the phone bar, you also have active patient options, so a little like the patient overview that you've got in the version 3 integration there. And new for the phone bar was our appointments list, which then enables clinicians to work through their list directly through the phone bar. And you can access the patient details just by clicking on the patient's name within that appointments list. And you have the contact options just the same as you do for your active patient, but directly through the appointments list there. So once you've upgraded to phone bar, it's very easy then to work through any appointments list that's allocated for you on your clinical database. We also launched our online help centre. So if you are making any changes to Surgery Connect, have a look for the help icons, which will either be the magnifying glass in most of the consoles, which is down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. On the user console, if that's where you are, up at the top near your initials, you'll see the little question mark, and that will give you access to our online help centre. Now that's been launched this year, but we have put in most of the processes and procedures for Surgery Connect. If there is anything that you find that you is missing from the help centre there and you can't find the assistance, you can also feedback through the help centre to let us know what's missing, and then we can create those particular articles for you. You can search through the help centre, so you can use it as online help whilst you're making changes, and it will give you step-by-step instructions. And every time you go into it, it will give you some suggested articles for the various area that you're currently looking at. We also changed our consoles on Surgery Connect. So obviously there are quite a few different consoles that you can access as a supervisor. Within the service delivery console, which is where you'll upload and change all of your users, your groups, your calendars, and the various call flows, we've added a search function. So in the service delivery console previously, you would have had to scroll through the list of users to find a particular person. Now you can just type their name into the search box at the top of the table, and it will bring just that person's details up on the screen for you. We also made it possible to select the outbound calling number that's shown by any practice. Now, these numbers here are from our training database, but as you can see, when you're in the user section, if you're editing a user or even creating a new user, on the advanced settings tab in that pop-up, you can select which telephone number is going to be shown for a particular user on an outbound call. Now, most practices show their main practice number on all outbound calls, which does then make it easier to get through any patient call monitoring software that they have. So if it only accepts calls from numbers that they recognise, if you're showing the main practice number, it means it's easier for those calls to get through there. However, within the list of the numbers, you'll have all of the numbers that you've got on Surgery Connect, as well as the option to withhold the number on a user by user basis. So you can do that for individual users there if you need to. We also included a new call status in 2022. So on both the user console, through your profile, through your initials in the top right hand corner, and through the phone bar, you can now select direct calls only. And that effectively steps you out of any groups that you're a member of. So if you've got users that would normally be taking calls from patients, but you need them to be doing something else today, and therefore they're not going to be taking those inbound calls, they can go into direct calls only. And that user is then available internally within the practice and also on any direct dial number that that user has, but they wouldn't then be taking calls through any of the queues. So direct calls only is an easy way to step out of all of the queues, and that can be done either via the user console or via the phone bar using the availability tabs there. Our first annual survey was also done in 2022, so we had 37 responses from 34 different surgeries, and there was a mixture of different people within the practice that responded to the survey for us. Again, thank you so much for all of those practices that took the time to respond to the survey. The feedback that we get is invaluable and will enable us to change things then for you as we're going forward. So we've got a couple of graphs here, one that will show you the split of what type of role people were having within the practice when they were actually responding to the survey. And we've also got a little wheel here with our most used features on there. The largest one being the user console, which is the screen as supervisors. You can see exactly what's going on the system with all of the calls, your call recordings if you have your calls recorded, and you can also manage the staff through that user console screen as well. The second highest area that's used is then the auto login to the desk phone. So both through the phone bar and through the integration with any other clinical system, you can actually set the system so it logs your users in automatically when you log into the clinical database in the morning. And it doesn't matter whether you use a smart card to log in or whether you log into your clinical database manually. If those settings are all set within the integration software, it will then log you in automatically to a desk phone that's installed on that desk next to that particular PC. You can also see on here that lots of practices now are using Xflow. So that gives you the opportunity to change all of the messages and the actions the system takes when a caller rings into the practice. So with Xflow, you can change those messages whenever you need to. There's no need to come through to our support team. You can make the changes yourself. There is a test number on most of your systems, so you can make sure that those changes are going to sound okay and then deploy it when you're ready so that those changes are then made on your main practice number. As you can see, we did have some feedback through the survey, and these are some of the feedback comments that we received. So things like more help guides and videos are always on the way. We're always looking for new information to pop into the help guide there. On our new help center, you can actually search all the articles, so it's much easier than the old information on the training pages. So you can search for particular areas or something that you're trying to do, and it will then bring up all the articles that have those details in their descriptions. The new phone bar is being released this year, and in 2023 we'll also be looking at versions there for System 1 and other clinical databases. And in fact, we're also going to look at doing a version that you don't need any integration software, so you'll then be able to use the phone bar from home as well. There were some people that were not aware of the various communication channels. So just to make you aware, we do a monthly newsletter, and anybody in the practice can receive that newsletter. If you'd like to be added, then just email our products team at exon.co.uk, and I'll give you their contact details at the end. We also put some alerts on our user console. So as a supervisor, if you've got that screen open, the area just at the top will change slightly. So just above your calls in your user list, you will have notifications there of anything special that's going on. So coming up to Christmas, we changed that so to help you change your prompts if you wanted to change anything over the Christmas and New Year period. And then since then, obviously, we've left it on there so that you can swap those back now that you're back into a new year there. You have our support portal where you can log any issues on the system, and obviously any support tickets that are raised will then be communicated through the support portal with the service desk. You can also make special feature requests. So if you want Surgery Connect to work in a particular way, or you think it would be really useful if there was something on there that would do something for you in particular within the practice, please just drop us an email again to products@exon.co.uk, and we can add that to our development list. And then the more requests that we get, we'll know which surgeries and what priority that we need to give that within the development list. We do also have our Exon website where you can find information on Surgery Connect, as well as the Surgery Connect training website where you can access all of the training courses. We do have the help guides, which is our new help centre, so you can start searching those whenever you're making any changes. And of course, we have our monthly webinars that are normally on the second Wednesday of each month, and they will go through any new information that we've got. So any new products or new features that we've got coming up, there's normally a webinar both before and usually a few months afterwards, just to help everybody get that set up on their system if it's something that they want to use. Now, coming up in 2023, I've already given you a little spoiler there. Our phone bar is going to be extended, so it then works with both System 1 and Vision. It will also have an independent version, so you don't actually need the clinical integration then to use the phone bar, and you can then download it wherever you need to access your phone system within the practice. In the first quarter, we'll also be looking at launching our new check, cancel and book. It will be the check and cancel section that will come first. That will allow your patients to actually call up, and if they go through the check and cancel section, it will allow them to check if they have an appointment booked already. So that will hopefully stop some calls into the practice to your reception team, just checking on appointment dates and times. And then the second part will also allow them to cancel that appointment automatically online without actually speaking to somebody within the practice. The final part of that project will be then for the patients to book their appointment. There is a little bit more work that we need to do with that, just to make sure that it's connecting to the correct appointments lists. So we'll be looking at check and cancel first of all. Again, initially that will be for EMIS, and it will be by the any phone bar users that will be able to use that new section. But as soon as it's done with EMIS, we'll obviously be working with System 1 and Vision as well to make sure it works with the new systems there as well. We've also set up a green team in 2022 in Surgery Connect, and they are looking into how we can make Surgery Connect more sustainable there, sorry, excuse me. So you will see some reporting through our newsletter on our carbon footprint reduction and what we're doing within the company in order to reduce that, as well as updating you on our corporate and social responsibilities. We did have our outage in November last year, which is a fairly rare occurrence, but it has given us some learning there. So we're actually updating our business continuity information at the moment. There will be a webinar on the new business continuity options, but you'll be able to register for alerts so that if there is any problems with the system, you could be receiving texts or emails to tell you before that you start to log into the system, so you'll have some idea of what's going on there. There is some more detail about the outage, and you can find that through the link that we've got in the slide pack here. So we will be sending out a copy of the slide pack and the recording to you all. The exhibitions that we'll be attending in the first 6 months of 2023 are listed below. So if you would like to come and see us either in London or Birmingham, then please pop up and see the guys on our stand that will be at the following shows here. And you can also contact the various teams within Surgery Connect depending on what your particular query is. So any new feature or changes to the actual system itself and the way that the system works, that would be emailing through to our products team. So their email is there on the screen. Any information around the training or invitations to webinars and what's coming up, then you can email the training team. So that's training@exon.co.uk. Any problems that you have on the system, and they're not just technical support, so our support and service desk are available for you on their direct dial number, which is the 6633 number that's normally on a sticker above the screen on all the phones within the practice, or you can raise a ticket on the support portal, and that support portal will be updated this year as well to include information that you'll need when you're actually going on there. If you need to contact our client relationship managers, you can call our main number, which is 0333 332 0000, and if you select option 1 and then existing customers, that will take you through to our sales team that deal with our existing customers. So our CRMs are able to help with any queries really about how you can use Surgery Connect best within your practice to get the best out of the system, and also so that it's helping you within the system. So once you've been using the system for a while, if you do have any queries about how you could change it, then our CRMs are available and they can help you with any changes that you might need to make as well. Any queries around your billing or your account, you can call the billing team directly. So again, that's on our main number, but this time option 4 when you go through the menu there. You can also follow us on Twitter. And within the slideshow here, there are links to our Twitter page so that you can then follow that there. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. So we have a corporate page on LinkedIn there, as well as Facebook. And this year we'll be putting more announcements on our social media there. For Surgery Connect training, there is a YouTube channel. So all the webinars are hosted there, and you can access that through the icons on this slide down at the bottom. If you need to order any additional headsets, then you can do that using orders at exon.co.uk. You'll then be registered for our online shop. So once you've done that, in the future, you can just go directly to the shop and do your online order without the need to actually go through to the sales team and place that over the phone. So this has been our review of 2022. So we've had a 2022 review with all the awards and changes that we've made to Surgery Connect. We've had a look at what's coming up in 2023, which includes our new phone bar for System 1 and other clinical databases, and check and cancel for appointments there. We've also got a list of the exhibitions that will be on the slides there in the slide pack, and the details of how you can contact us.